I personally preferred the other two skills to sailing for those who are unaware, but I am open to sailing, of course. I don't know what's going on though, because I haven't been in the loop. The blogs are way too long for my monkey brain, and I've been too occupied with the hardcore to give a crap. I figured more confident and devoted people should be putting their effort into it more than me. So this is my opinion and hot take. Let's have a look. A closer look at navigation, sailing part 1. Sorry for all the issues we've been having. Tom, I'm going to ban you. You're a fucking dickhead, okay? Shut the fuck up. Throw yourself off a cliff. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. A close look at navigation without the content, hopefully shitting the bed.
Hello there, and welcome to part
Oh my god.
Skill Development. I'm your host Gnome, and today we'll be discussing how navigation works within the sailing skill. But first, let's review where we are in the skill development cycle. Back in December, players voted overwhelmingly to add a new skill to the game.
Okay.
We then gave our feedback on what that skill should look like before 3 options were presented and polled, out of which sailing came on top. Now we're in Stage 4, Refinement, where we
Stage 4, Terminal. Like I said earlier, I think shamanism was a better suited skill in my opinion, and I also think that content creators, such as the examples would be Bodhi, Only Trails, Foe, Flippin' Oldschool, people with that much traction, any content creator really giving their opinion on selling, have had the influence on why selling got voted, just as much as other content creators had opinions on shamanism and were influencing those votes. I just disagree with the ignorance that I remember Bodhi saying, where he feels like he didn't really have much to do with people voting for sailing. Absolutely he did. And I just think that's important to note in general. I would say that a lot of this is the same way that the market is impacted, and the way that many things in this game is impacted, the way the meta is made. Like how Fox News influences elections. Don't make it weird. No one cares about political shit. It's all based on opinion rather than fact, right? So I think that has a big influence on why sailing is here today. Do I think that's a bad thing? I don't know, but it wasn't my choice. So I'm trying to be as biased as possible throughout this. So far, 30 seconds in, the only thing I'm annoyed at currently is my internet and the way that it's been performing so far on stream.
Point the specifics of sailing and hear the old school team's proposals before we head to the final poll in Stage 5. So over the next few months of refinement, we'll be walking through 4 major topics: navigation, the core gameplay.
Fo was big on shamanism, wanted it repolled. Well, I guess that they will probably repoll shamanism in the future. I do remember him being positive about all of it, but he was just an example of a big creator who did speak about sailing and even shamanism as well, for sure. I already made my mind up on shamanism after the JML pitch. Understandable. They should have just reworked the hunter skill. Sailing makes my dick soft. No, that's an L take. Anyone that wants sailing as a total fuckwit, please explain why, Ben.
Rewards, and lore/integration. But for today, let's focus on part 1, navigation. Where are you sailing? What do ships look like? How are they controlled? And where is your character? To answer these, let's dive into the old school team's navigation proposal. Let's start by establishing some absolute basics. It takes place in the main game world.
Yeah.
It will not be instanced, so everyone plays together on the currently existing.
And as I said earlier, this is a good thing. I think it not being instance is the best way to take it, because if it's instance, you build up lag on world servers, and also it removes the fun, the core concept of the game. You want to be able to drive by people fishing at Catherby and call them fat idiots as they're fishing lobsters, and there's nothing they can do about it because you fucked off into the ocean. Making it open world so everyone can see you and interact with you is the best way to go about it.
Land and ocean. You'll debark from ports and other mooring points on full-scale ships, ranging from small single-crew vessels to massive multi-crew galleons. Your ship moves by regular point-and-click mechanisms, while the boat itself is walkable ground, allowing your player character to move independently from the movement of the vessel. So let's break down each of these points. First, the community has emphasized the need for sailing to feel like a real part of the game world. While these and mini-games hide behind instances or in tightly restricted areas, as a skill, sailing should feel integrated into the rest of Gielinor, so you'll be sharing the same seas with other boats and even be able to interact with other players on shore. Similarly, even while your vessel is moving,
I give it see this here? I give it 6 months. Then you'll barely see content like this. People sailing together. For the first 6 months of the skill, it's going to be, everyone's going to be in the boat sailing around, fucking with each other. And then it's going to die off. 100%.
Other players on shore.
No
Similarly,
tipsy, no.
even while your vessel is moving, you'll be able to walk about, lay back, or skill as you please, giving you the same level of freedom that you have everywhere else in Gielinor. To start sailing, you'll go to the nearest port or other mooring point, and simply hop on your vessel to take off. The ships you'll sail come in 3 broad categories: small, large, and colossal. Small vessels are built primarily for solo experiences and as an overall introduction to sailing. They are fast and function best in shallow waters near islands and landmasses, but are limited in how many facilities can be installed.
So that tells me going out into the bigger part of the ocean, these might not be ideal to take with you, the smaller boats, which I think is a slight concern for me. But I want to see the other 2 boats, because we got up to around this point and then I had an opinion I think I remember trying to share.
Storage compartments. Large ships are specialized for open seas and have greater room for such improvements, but move slower. Colossal ships are complex vessels that are slow to move and can only sail in open or deep waters. However, they are well suited for large crews, including other players.
So this is what I think is
However,
this is a lie. Jagex is lying to you with this, because this isn't going to happen after 6 months. You're going to have people just playing solo. You're going to have people doing it maybe with a few friends, but everyone is going to start playing and selling by themselves again within a 6-month period, like every other piece of content in the game. You are only doing group content when you are essentially forced to do it. For example, mini games that require you to do mini games. Raids where Theatre of Blood, you're forced to pretty much have a 3-man team or more. TOA, if you want drops, you're pretty much forced to have a bigger team, but you're going to just do solo raids anyway, aren't you? Because you're greedy and you want the drop to yourself. You're not gonna, this isn't going to be a reality at the end of the day. Unless Jagex can enforce some sort of really beneficial way to do sailing where you want to, you really want to have multiple people on one ship and you all gain a massive benefit over solo ships, this is not going to happen. This is just going to die off and it's just going to be more single player content, which is fine. But this is a lie right here. That's a fact. That's the way the game is. Everyone wants to play solo. Everyone's playing Iron Man. It's that simple. What was I reading here? WoW content rotation is do new raid, get gear, wait till next raid, do new raid, get gear, and that's how it's been for 10 years. That's MMORPGs in a nutshell. This isn't just WoW. Comparing RuneScape to WoW is you're never going to be happy with the game. You're never going to be satisfied with RuneScape if all you do is compare it with how things are in WoW. Absolutely, they're completely different games. You need to get that mindset out of your head immediately. Just forget about WoW when you play RuneScape. Completely. Forget about it. And you'll be just happier in general with the game.
Are well suited for large crews, including other players, and have the most room for better facilities. Repairing, applying cosmetics, and building your ship's facilities will be possible at major ports with the appropriate material and skills. Now, to move your ship about, the team has settled on the point-and-click system that you're already familiar with.
That sounds very simple.
While on your boat, selecting the wheel will bring you to navigation mode, where pointing and clicking anywhere on the sea will move your ship to that location. Clicking the wheel again exits navigation mode, and due to some fantastic engine work, will allow you to freely roam about your boat separately from the movement of your ship.
That's cool. I like that. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's a very smart way to take it. And I think that works very well. Being able to move the boat and then transition between the boat and your character moving on the boat, and being able to move your character on the boat while the boat's moving from where you click. That's pretty good. I like that. That's smart.
You can expect your ship to behave a little differently than how it does on land by following a new pathing algorithm.
Okay.
Like giving larger and heavier vessels a wider turning angle than smaller boats.
Yep.
On the topic of movement, will ship collision exist?
Okay, this is what I want to know about.
Other objects at sea is expected, but such interactions will be safe unless you're sailing more advanced, hazardous zones.
Okay.
Ship-to-ship collision between players will also be avoided to prevent players from being too antagonistic towards each other.
Because people like me are going to block pathways. This is what I was talking about. I think you got to have unit walking. But is it going to look silly? It's probably not, because it doesn't with characters. And Yeah, you're going to have unit walking over other players. Otherwise, you're going to just block the ocean up 100%. Clans are going to ruin the experience for a lot of players. In a good way, of course. No such thing as medium-sized ships according to Jagex. Just like there's no medium-sized pizzas at Domino's. Small, large, and colossal ships. Personal, large, and extra large pizzas. What is wrong with you? What is the point of that comment? Do you want medium-sized ships? Should we buy logs, planks, dragon harpoons? If you need them, sure. What skill would you like? I would have preferred shamanism, but I'm happy with this. Why don't you stream on Twitch? Because I'm not a cuck. Have you checked out Sabe's newest ramble about ruinous powers and the idea of old school staying old school? I haven't yet, no. I do like Sabe, I do like watching his rambles, but I haven't checked that out yet, no.
Nonetheless, it might be something to consider in, say, a PvP environment, where such competition is expected and valued. Similarly, the teams consider...
I'm not convinced PvP is going to work in sailing. They can barely get PvP to work in the main game. How are you... I don't know, I'll have to wait and see, but I'm not convinced PvP is going to work in sailing at all. PvP is a fucking struggle fest to begin with. It's incredibly toxic, and the problem that you have with PvP in this game is that you essentially are risking everything you've got every time you go out PvPing, right? So I don't know. I want to see it, but I think the idea of PvP sailing just needs to not exist. It is... What, are you going to lose your boat? Are you going to acquire other people's boats? You're going to lose your cannons? Are you going to lose the loot you have on your boat? It's not going to be... I don't know. They'll have to have a completely new system to the way PvP works as well. I don't think so. I think you're going too far. Where are you going to do PvP? In the wilderness? You're going to have wilderness sailing? You're going to fire a cannon onto land and fuck someone up with a cannonball? That would be awesome. But no, I don't think PvP sailing is... I feel like they're just pitching it to try and please the PvP community, but... No, I don't think so. Unless they can give me a good example other than two ships next to each other, I'm not convinced at all. I don't think it's going to work. Your boat becomes damaged and you have to repair your boat for PvP. Okay, but what's the reward for PvP? Other than just hitting someone else's boat. What are you going to get as a reward? Is it going to generate items and generate gold? Good. Now we have a farm. Now we have a bot farm. Now we have people abusing mechanics and printing money into the game. Glory? That's not enough.
Similarly, the team's considering a potential upgrade that allows your ship to keep moving in a straight line past the last tile you've clicked. But to ensure this doesn't make all navigation feel completely foreign and unintuitive, this would be an entirely opt-in system.
An opt-in system that most people I think would take, because navigation is going to get boring after the first week.
So those are the basics of the proposed navigation component, but what will sailing look like to a new sailor versus an experienced mariner? When you first jump onto the water, you'll only have a small ship unlocked. Small vessels are fast and more maneuverable, and push you to train in shallow areas where the seas are safe and easy to navigate.
Okay.
Because you won't have many facilities to manage, the beginner experience focuses on getting used to simply moving on water and interacting with the wind, a dynamic element which will help or hinder you if you're sailing for or against it.
Okay.
Once you hit mid-game, you unlock large ships, which opens up more facilities and therefore more things to manage on board. At the same time, navigating a large ship gets more complex as you move from the shallows to the open sea, where currents add to the wind to impact your movement, offering a chance to prove your prowess. Similarly, certain areas may only be available once you've reached the right sailing level or installed the right facility, like a reef that's too dangerous to cross until you've upgraded your hull, or a wild, stormy zone that tears your sails apart unless you've reinforced them.
So essentially it's making navigation with sailing a chore the higher level you get. If you want to go to other areas, I'm going to just want to teleport eventually, or quick travel. Because I don't want to have to fucking sail and then repair my sail and go through the storm and try to battle riptides every time I want to bank and then go back to fighting the Leviathan. So that might get annoying.
Finally, the late game sees you unlocking colossal ships, which specialize in deep waters where you'll find the hardest challenges the sea has to throw at you.
Okay.
With more and better facilities, colossal ships also offer the most diverse and engaging gameplay. and will let you fully explore and enjoy the breadth
Well,
of
we know how engaging the Kraken is already, so this will be fun. Perhaps quick travel after you unlock it. If they give you quick travel options, okay, so you have to travel through the seas and go through storms and go against the tides to get to your destination, to, say, get to a new island, get to a new area, a new hub, a new boss, and then you unlock a quick travel feature after. The content that you have to do to get to that feature is redundant immediately. So quick traveling kills sailing, right? But quick traveling is better than sailing. So you have to find the right balance. Jagex has to find a balance between those two features. Whether that means you get upgrades on your boat, that means you can just ignore those mechanics completely, so you still have to travel, but then you don't have to get, put effort in every time you want to get to, Kraken 2. I don't know. Anyone that argues Sea of Thieves is a moron. 100%. I don't think you played Sea of Thieves. Can I sail to Zora? Probably not. No, I wouldn't say so. You need anti-poison. Navigation will get boring after the first break. 100%. I think so, yeah. Super chat not working? Interesting. Why not? That's cringe. YouTube just being garbage all over again.
Gilinor's oceans. And, of course, you'll never be forced to sail a particular type of ship. Instead, each class is intended to offer different experiences to suit the tastes of different players. For larger ships with more facilities to manage, you can even recruit other players or NPCs to help you sail, allowing for an efficient solo or group play at all levels. Now, those astute players among you probably have a million more questions on many of the nitty-gritty details of navigation, like how will quest-locked islands be handled, or how will the team go about adding new content to the ocean, or what will overlapping ships look like? For answers to these questions and more, see the full blog post in the description.
Okay.
Just remember that there are still many details to be ironed out. For example, the Oldschool team is aware that draw distances need to be increased for sailing, particularly in the Java client, where the tech demos shown in this video were recorded. In the short term, both RuneLite and the C++ client on Steam and mobile offer the ability to increase draw distance. In the longer term, they are looking at what they can do to resolve this issue for the Java client specifically, which may include more advanced solutions.
Well, what's going to happen there is they're going to get rid of the Java client, which includes RuneLite, and give you the better thing altogether, but we can discuss that at another time. I think so far navigation on sailing looks like it's heading in the right direction. Absolutely, it's heading in the right direction, but I think it still needs a fair bit of work, and there's some questions that are unanswered. But I think the core concept that they have with click to move ships, and then you can go back to move your character on the ship while the ship's still moving, I think that is excellent. I think that is a great way to handle that feature. Good night, Carl. Catch you later, man. I think that's an excellent way to tackle navigation and staying interactive while you're at sea. I don't have full confidence in the bigger ships with the implication that you're going to have big groups on the ship, because I don't think that's like a dream that's going to die instantly, right? We know this is going to happen. So I think we should see what the other videos have to say. But so far, navigation looks like it's heading in the right direction, ironically, for sure. Why rework the whole game for a skill that's essentially useless? Well, they're not reworking the whole game for a skill, not really, no. They're trying to add a skill to the game. Is it going to be useless? We don't know. Navigation so far looks like it's got some uses, but we have another video to look at, which is how sailing gameplay works, which we're going to look at in now.